Welcome to another episode of the Creative Masterminds Podcast.
Yeah.
Fire Podcast. You have Sean Breeze in the house.
Cast 3, what's happening?
And the reason why I'm chuckling is because we had a few mistakes, but you don't need to know about that. But anyway, it's your favorite podcast. I'm just going to claim it like that.
Yeah.
Sean Breeze, Cast 3, another week, episode 14.
14.
You already know how we roll.
Yeah.
We first start with our week in review, talk about what we did for the week, and then we go into our topic. Our topics, multiple, 2. We're going to talk about how your mind is a field and how you have to be cautious and aware of what you plant in that field.
The soil of the mind.
The soil of the mind. That's a
up.
way better way to put it. And the second topic is patience, perseverance, and prayer, and how these 3 things can help make you a better creator, a better person in general, which will help make you a better creator. So,
Straight up, yeah.
let's go ahead and hop into the weekend review. I'll go ahead and start off. You know I always defer to Cass, but
Hit him up.
So my week has been a very productive week for sure. My week started off, well, not really started off because it kind of happened at the end of last week, but basically I participated in a producer event on last Saturday. This event where you have to go to this studio spot and they give you a sample. A sample is like a piece of song or whatever. Piece of song, yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Piece of song, and they give you that sample, and they give you 2 hours to flip that sample, and whoever has the best sample gets a prize. And so they had like 3 places, of course, like first, second, third, but I'm not sure
what sample did they give y'all? Because I've been through one of those, but
it was a sample that they got from this website called TrackLib. I believe that's the name of the website, and so they apparently have a partnership with that website, and so they hook them up with free samples.
Dope. Okay.
And so
it wasn't from a song particularly?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It wasn't from a song, and it was funny because I felt very confident going in, like, okay, I should be very good at doing this because I've been working on getting better at sampling, and I have made some pretty good beats sample-wise. And so I was looking forward to doing it. It was a free event, so I just seized the opportunity when I saw the email, and they just were looking for people to join. And so actually it was a pretty good turnout. I saw some old buddies of ours. Shout out to, J-La. I think that's his name, J-La.
What up?
Grande. Shout out to Grande.
Yeah, Grande Cooks.
And this guy, I think DJ Tempo. I hope I didn't get your name wrong. If not, I'll make sure I put the correct spelling somewhere. But I met him there. He was a pretty dope dude, he's a pretty dope dude. And so, yeah, man, just made some beats there. I do have a story a story of perseverance. How I created my beat, and my beat was super duper fuego. I just needed to do 2 last things, which was add a bass and some drums to it, and then just arrange it.
Yeah.
And my computer just locked up on me and crashed. And so it happened at the point where they were actually getting people in line to play their beats. And so, of course, I had 2 choices at that point. I could just balled up and be like, oh, man, I can't do anything now because the opportunity gone, don't have enough time. Or I could have just persevered and opted to just push forward and just create something within 30 minutes, which I did. I created a loop to showcase up there in front of this producer named Mr. Lee. He produced for Nipsey Hussle, I think Bun B, a slew of different artists. He's a mature producer, I'll say that. And he gave me some good feedback. He gave me some feedback in relation to how I flipped the sample, which was very similar to how other people did it, or more so, I took the same part that most people took from the most obvious part, which was like this horn section that the beat had. And so it was a good lesson learned. I learned to not do the obvious, to try to do something that's different, that would not be deemed normal. And so but I felt very, very good, even though I wasn't able to produce my best beat. I felt very good with the fact that, when the pressure was on, I still created a beat that the producer, Mr. Lee, he actually liked the beat. He just critiqued me on how I used to sample or what part of the sample I took from. And but all in all, I said it was a good beat. And so I felt very confident that my producer game is growing, and I'm very happy about that.
No doubt.
So that was one event I went to. Actually, that's the only event I went to this week. And of course, worked on the podcast for sure. Had that up, and now just really getting ready for this wedding. This wedding is about to go down.
Yeah.
In
It's
a
almost
few
time,
days.
player.
Yeah. By the time this uploads, is gonna be already had happened. So
Yeah.
thank you for the congrats and thank you for the congrats already. And yeah, man, just gearing up for this wedding and trying to resolve and tie the loose ends up.
Yeah.
One thing though, so for the wedding, I was tasked to create some playlists, 3 playlists. One playlist for like the cocktail hour, another for the dinner, and another for the dance part. And so I have created the cocktail hour. It's like an all R&B playlist on Spotify. It's called R&B for Dinner. And I actually enjoyed the process of creating a playlist so much. I will be creating more playlists. I have 2 ideas in mind. One is called a playlist. Well, it's going to be a playlist called Honeymoon. It already exists, but Honeymoon, and then another one called No Condom. No, it's kind of crazy. But yeah,
All right.
bad. Oh yeah, I forgot my mom watched this. My bad. Might have to edit that part out. But anyway. So it's been a very productive week on getting things done and just trying to stay focused and make sure that I'm enjoying life while also pursuing my dreams. And so after I just said that crazy thing that may get me in trouble with my mom,
He ended it on the.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. No, I know that's crazy. But I think it's hilarious. I don't know. Stay tuned for the
This is
playlist.
our platform to get it out. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, for real. My bad. Let me took up enough time. Go ahead, Cass, and talk about your week and what went down with you.
Yeah, I had a blessed week, man. I do personal training and do fitness classes, cardio, boxing, kickboxing type of classes and stuff. So I did those classes and work with clients in the morning, work them out and all that. So, I had a good week, man, and spent time with the family, the boys, my wife, all the family, and I had a good week, man.
That's good. That's good. Sound good. Let me clean myself up right quick about the no condom.
You was thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what happened was, I was creating a playlist, right, and then I heard some songs that I thought was
had happened was
and I heard some songs that sounded good to the ear. I'm like, okay, this is a good song, and I added them to the playlist. But then when I heard the actual lyrics about putting this and there and this
my
and
neck,
that,
my back,
yeah,
and
like
all
that and this and there and that, like, okay, that shouldn't be at the dinner party because I don't, moms be tripping. And so let me go ahead and create a separate list that's for the adults in a committed relationship, because that's the only part. So I'm not just advocating you go out there and just go crazy. I'm saying this for people in a committed relationship with someone monogamous that they love and care about. That's what I'm talking about. And so let me create a playlist for these people so they can, so I can help people procreate.
Yeah, don't be out there being promiscuous though. Don't do it.
Hey, man. Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead because it's gonna be like it's like a hell of a transition.
Right, let's bring in the Lord.
Okay, let's seeds of the mind. There you go. That's a transition for you. We talk about seeds, and so seeds of the mind, and making sure that the soil of the mind.
Soil of the mind, yeah.
And making sure that you're putting the right seeds in the soil,
right,
so you can have the right harvest that will help ensure that you have a great life experience that will help you become a better creator, a better person in general. So yeah, Kaz, go ahead and hop off me. My bad. Go ahead and jump off the subject and speak about what you mean by, or what you mean by that concept.
Well, I mean, just picture, a field, in the backyard. We grow different things from, celery or peppers and to different types of things. What was oregano? We got a whole bunch of stuff out there.
Herbs too? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
herbs
Dope.
and some.
You got bell peppers, tomatoes.
tomatoes, and
Fire.
we got the apple trees,
Oh,
different
nice.
trees, plums, and
Cool, I like that.
and pears and stuff like that. But the whole concept of it is soil is it's the way it reproduces. What you put in there is going to give you back what you put in the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The seed for that. So, and it doesn't matter what you put in there, if it is able to get what is it called when the seed goes in there?
When it sprouts?
Yeah,
or
the term,
when are you talking about like germinates?
Germinates. That's
Germinates.
It, yeah. So when it does that, if it's able to do that and actually reproduce like that and give you a harvest, that's it doesn't matter what it is. That's what I was getting at. So the mind is that way also. If you think about it, when you close your eyes, it's dark, and think of the mind as a soil that is it comes from God because we're made in His image. So this is the most majestic, the most mysterious, most powerful soil there is. So with our thoughts, those are seeds, and what we plant and go back to over and over again, like if it's worry or whatnot, then that's what we will get in return. So those seeds that we plant, those thoughts that we plant, that's the return that we're going to get. So, of course, you want it to be more on the positive side. You want it to be on where you want to be, not stuff in the past. We use the past to think about things we should use that to guide our emotions for happy times and memories of good things and all that. But when we go in our memory baggage and think about worry and times when we had the most stressed out times and all that, that's planted in the mind. That's just adding more worry and more, tension and more anxiety and things like that. So we want to use the mind as the soil that it is to plant positive seeds so that we get that return, and we want to push ourselves of how we value ourselves. We box ourselves in and have a paradigm of, the culture and everything that we were raised in. It's got us boxed in. But each day we got an infinite, possibilities and things that we could come in contact with. But when we skew it by the box that we're in and the way we were raised, the mindset that we were accustomed to having, then we pretty much box ourselves in, and it's hard to grow from that. That's why the growth mindset and those type of things are so powerful. But with the soil, this is the most powerful soil on earth. It comes from God, and that's the way the mind is set up. It's the same thing with the focus that we were talking about last week. What you plan in there is what you will get in return. So if you're planning in, my worth, I'm going to achieve something greater than a person that you consider as a mentor or somebody that you give a lot of reverence to. And if you say that over and over daily, that I'm gonna achieve as much as they did and even more. So I'm gonna do more, not to boast for yourself, but for a reason to help others and to push forth your energy and your purpose in life. I mean, that's what it's about. But we want to use the mind, that soil, that ground, that it's blessed ground. That's like holy ground. The
Facts.
soil of the mind. So let's use it in the right way and put the right thoughts, plant those right seeds, and then how you get it to harvest, you keep going back to it daily, several times a day, and making sure that you feel, you resonate with them, with those images, with you being happy, enjoying, you blessing other people, lifting people up, whatever those goals are that you have. I think that's really important, and that's what I meant by the soil of the mind, the richest soil on earth. You know what I'm saying?
It's like so many ways like we can take this, like, because while you was talking, I was thinking about the fact that we have two parts to our minds. We have the conscious mind and also the subconscious mind, and how it's very important to be mindful of what you put in both minds. And the thing is, what's tricky with the subconscious mind, you never know what you're putting in there. Like, for example, a long time ago, I used to watch this channel called Investigation Discovery. And if you know about the channel, if you don't know about the channel is basically a crime channel that shows nothing but murder, 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 kill, 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 and like a bunch of different stories of people being set up and just terrible stuff. And I remember when I was watching it during that time, watching that channel during that time, whenever I would go out, especially at night, I would be like very paranoid and very like I would have like strong anxiety and like look over my shoulder and my head is on a shrivel. Of course, you want to be cautious at all times, but I was like overdoing it, and I realized that that came from my subconscious mind being programmed by watching this television channel called Investigation Discovery, because all it showed was murder. So in my subconscious mind, my mind's like, I gotta be on alert for murder because there's danger everywhere, because that's all I saw every day.
Yeah.
I can take it to a step further, or like that's probably more relevant to people nowadays. How we use social media and how we really allow ourselves to get programmed by the things that we see on social media, and also how we take in so much stuff that, like, for instance, a good example would be like how we wake up and reach for the phone immediately, and then we look at our timeline, then we end up comparing our current situation to somebody else's situation, and then we end up like within the first minute or so waking up feeling terrible and horrible about where we are in life. And so that's like all things that's related to, like, your mind. And the point I'm trying to make is you have to be conscious and always aware of what you're putting into your mind. And because like Cass said, you put terrible things into your mind, like the terrible seeds and stuff like that. Like me watching Investigation Discovery, I put in terrible, like, danger into my soil. I just basically had nothing but weeds popping up where my mind wasn't focused on like the important things, of course. But it made me think about that when you said, like, of course, when we talked about like your mind is a soil, or your mind is soil, like a field of soil, of plentiful soil, but you have to be very careful of what you put into that soil.
And that's a great example of how you can burn things into your subconscious, or how you can get it into your subconscious and use this for your benefit, is repetition.
True.
Because you were watching that, and the things that we do that are in our subconscious, we do it repetitively.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can use that to your advantage. Do these things, like I was saying, you go back to those good thoughts and all that, and you're burning that into your subconscious. You want to do it repetitively, and then, 2 months from now or whatever, that's resonated, that's in your subconscious, so that will come forth towards you. Because that's like, there's laws in the world. Gravity, we have the law of polarity, up, down, in, out, right, left, and all of that, so a plus, a negative. So another law is, and it says it in the word, in almost every scripture or religion or whatever, you become what you think about. And I said that on
that's true.
Yeah, I said that in my
that is true.
The Bright, the Enemy of Plight. It was about, that beat tape I made it for my sons, like in the future, for them to know that their future is bright if you think that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're focused on, and you know that your future is bright, then it will be, because as you think it, so that's what you will be. You know what I'm saying? So that's a law. So when you keep going back to that, thinking on positive, thinking on being great, thinking on helping people, thinking on, your purpose, then that will come back, because that's a law set in place. People don't realize that. They don't really teach us that. But they don't teach us in school how to think, the proper way to think.
Absolutely not. They teach you more so how to just receive.
Yeah.
And
just memorize.
Yeah, memorize.
You know what I'm
saying? Really, I could go on a big tangent, but I'm not going to go on a big tangent about school. But basically, they just teach you how to be told something and do it. That's really what's like school in the traditional sense within America is. You get told to do something, and you better do it to whatever standard that I like the teacher creates. And it was just like, okay, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. It's very true. Dang, man, I just had a point, but I just blinked out.
It's all good, man. That's
Man, about oh, that's what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about, like, how you can prime yourself, to have that positive mindset, how you can wake up and, of course, not reach for that phone. Well, I wake up and pray. I wake up. I try to. I do it like every day? I at least do it every other day. I try to do it at least often. I try to make it more of a habit now. But I wake up and pray, and that's really is good for me because that helps clear my mind first and foremost. And then I really don't try to take in media at all until like after I go to the gym. Like and so but anyway, when I wake up, I'll pray, and then I'll go to my journal. I'll write some things down. Yeah. I go to my to-do list, what I need to do. I also go to like some affirmations. I have this notepad that has this mission statement or the statement that tells, or just a statement that's it's my goal statement, which is to at this moment to accumulate $1 million by December 12th. It looks bleak, however, that's my statement that I read to help push myself to like get into the proper mode that, all right, I'm nowhere near that goal, but that means I need to, go harder. I need to work harder and be smarter. And so Definitely. I have these different statements that I read, and also I try to read something that's encouraging. I may read something from the Quran. I may read something from like this book called Asking and It Is Given. It's a pretty good book. Or the seven spiritual laws of success. That's a good one. So basically, I just try to make sure I input great things that'll uplift me first thing in the morning instead of like taking on something that will like make me feel miserable. Because that's what I would do whenever I was working. When I would work, I wouldn't do any of that. I would just basically drag myself out of the bed, of course, take a shower, and then, get ready for work, get into the car, now jam trap music. And then, of course, trap music is very aggressive and very, rowdy.
Yeah.
And that's not setting myself up for a good day because I'm not putting myself in a good state, a good mind state to even take on the day. But I did notice, like, when I had a period of time where I would listen to audiobooks instead of trap music, things were better. I felt more motivated to work better when I was at my job. So just be very mindful of what you put into your mind, and just be cautious because those things matter, especially if you think like you watching trash TV is not affecting you. It is. It really is. And you'll be surprised if like I would say if you can do like a detox, social media wise and television wise, just do a detox to really show yourself how these things are affecting you.
Most definitely. And another thing you said was the journaling or writing things down.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
It's nothing like going back through, a couple weeks back or a month back, or just going through your journal and looking back and seeing what you wrote and how you were going through that day back in the past. Mm-hmm. That's like, it's nothing like
it's
that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. So I definitely do that, and I would recommend people, journal it, just write things down, how your day went. And when you're able to go back and go through that, you'll see where you were then, your growth, and you'll be able to, from that span of from there and where you are now, you'll be able to like reflect over all that. So it's real good for like, just self-improvement and growth,
I'll say, and even if you feel like at the time when you are journaling that you don't have anything to say, just write down like what you did that day or how you were feeling at that moment, and just document these things. And I promise, like after you get through writing now what you write, you'll feel a lot better. You'll feel like a weight lifted. That's how I feel after I get done writing. Like I had to write something before I came to record the podcast so I can get my energy correct, So I really did that.
Up, man.
All right, so we'll go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, y'all just take control of your mind, because people, even myself, even maybe a month ago or whatever, I was thinking like, that's really hard to like control your thoughts, control your mind, or take control of that. But think about it, we do, and to do this daily for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. But we take a shower we're gonna do that for a lifetime. We brush our teeth. We comb our hair. We do a lot of things that we have set in place that we are going to do for the rest of our lives. So for you to put in place to yourself that you're going to improve yourself, improve thyself for the rest of your life, and keep doing that daily, you can do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
it's all about making that commitment
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
And the benefits and where that will take you from inside out is it can't even be imagined. And there's no cap on that. That's that paradigm. That's those boxes and all that would be destroyed because you're pushing yourself out past those limits. And that's how it should be. The limits that the world has put on us, the limits that maybe our parents or whatever, and no diss to them because they only
know what they know. You know what I'm saying?
It's society.
And
But those who are going within and gonna go outside of that, push past that, and truly create and and manifest and reach their goals and push. Have one goal and keep going because this is another one.
Okay.
This dude, this dude was talking about what's the true definition of success, and I would say what I thought it was. I was thinking success was having a income that is that can't be capped or whatever, that your continuous income, anything you want to do, travel the world, do anything you want to do or whatever. What society says success is. What do you think success is, or what do you
It's funny that you asked that because I had to really do some hard thinking recently, as recently as last night, about what is success to me, because I had this goal in mind that I want to get this $1 billion, and this $1 billion is nothing but a mark. It's just like a direction that I want to just run towards. But I know it doesn't necessarily mean that I will be happy once I get this number. I know that for sure. And I completely understand that you're supposed to put family, friends, and all that stuff like as your forefront. And of course yourself. Well, first, my bad. Let me get the lineup correct. God, first you gotta look to God. Make sure yourself is good. Then work on your family and your friends and enjoy that more so than these monetary things. But anyway, to the point. Basically, I've been recently been focused on trying to get this number or trying to work towards this number that I wasn't enjoying life. Like I stated before, the wedding is coming up, and I told my fiance last night, like, "Hey man, I'm not really enjoying this process at all. Like I'm not enjoying this. I'm not happy with it at all." And of course, that made her tear up because of course every woman wants their groom to be super duper happy about the day coming up. However, it made me had to think what the hell is important to me? Like, why do I see this wedding as a hurdle instead of a moment for that will be joyful and that will be the best thing ever that will happen in my life, which I believe it will be.
Yeah.
One of the top things for sure. I had to realize that, man, bro, you being a fool, like Sean, you being an idiot trying to put this work thing that you're working towards above people that are very important to you, that's have your back from day one, that love you and care about you, that wants the best for you, and that it's family members are coming together to make this day happen for us, and I'm not appreciating that. And so I had to do a reality check, oh man, I need to check what success is to me. And as I think about it, as I know for sure that success is having your loved ones and having your family and having people around you. And success is not about the money. Obviously, I know you guys heard that before, but even though we hear it, sometimes we don't really take that lesson to heart. And so, but yeah, success to me is definitely just being able to live life and feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. Feel like you're really doing and making an impact. And so, yeah, that's what success is to me.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Yeah. This cat, Nightingale, he said that, success was progressively realizing worthy ideals. So pretty much always pursuing goals would be success. And when we're not pursuing goals and we're just at a standstill, then that's like a failure. But when we're always pursuing, reaching for one, we get to that one, and then you go on to another one. But once you can never be satisfied with, where you're at. If we're alive, we should always be trying to strive for more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that was just another,
That's a
about
good.
success.
That's a great way to put it, because that's kind of really how I see life. I know that $1 billion market is gonna come and go, and yeah, that's why I'm training myself to love the process more than like the end goal. Like, love the process of, okay, let me start something. Let me start my music production. Let me start trying to make lo-fi beats. All right, these first initial batches of lo-fi beats are trash. Of course, they're going to be. Let me work on getting better at that. Oh, I got better. That's great. Even with rapping, like, oh, my first few freestyles were trash, but I'm working hard every day trying to rap more and more to become better, because it's funny if you listen to Kendrick Lamar, like Section 80, how different he sounds from Damn. Like from Section 80, like, which was his second like real project. Overly dedicated was his first like project, official project. But you listen to Damn and see how much he has grown. You're like, wow, it's like night and day almost. Same thing with J. Cole. And so I just been teaching myself to learn to love the process and become one with the process, and just focus on that and not necessarily about the end goal. And like I stated in the last podcast, I know for sure that when the time is right, I will be blessed with what I'll be blessed with, however it comes. And I need to just focus on just loving the process, and just loving life. Just love doing what I love. So yeah.
Most definitely, man. The process is the hunt. Enjoy the hunt. You know what I'm saying? That's the hunt, man. We're hunters. We're like, you know what I'm saying? That's the hunt.
Yeah.
So that's just how,
Absolutely. All right. So the second topic is perseverance, prayer, and patience. And I got this topic from reading the Quran, and in the Quran it has a statement that, and I'm paraphrasing roughly, it says to seek Allah's help. Allah is God, and actually, fun fact, Christians called Allah before Muslims. I bet you didn't know that. To seek Allah's help, you need prayer, patience, and perseverance. And it just resonated with me. You're like, oh wow, like I feel like those are the three things I've been working on more and more. Like I prayed more times this week than anything, because I was like going through so much struggle, like trying to get everything prepared for the wedding, and just trying to get my mind right, and not be in a bitter state or not angry state, but more like an ungrateful state. There you go. I think that's the best way to put it. So I did like a whole bunch of prayer, and also I've been trying to exhibit like a lot of patience, for sure, because I know patience is required. A lot of times we've been trained to be like people who want things immediately, who want like things to be instant. Like we had these fast food places, and we get these foods, and we make our order, and then 2 minutes later we get this food, but we all know that the food is trash, because fast food, they skip things, right? They skip levels. They skip the processes, right? And because of that, they have these ramifications of skipping the process. You eat your McDonald's, you're gonna be obese. You know what I'm saying? Because they process the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not, real deal. But that's like a sidebar. But anyway, so I've been trying to exhibit more patience, and then and of course in order to persevere, you have to have patience, I would say, for sure, because you have to be persistent in whatever you're trying to attack. Like for instance, I wasn't bummed out about me not being able to put out my best beat, or or my laptop crashing on me whenever I tried to make that beat on last week. Because I figured that it just wasn't my time yet. It wasn't my time to really show my best work at that moment. That there were some things that I needed to learn, and me having that mindset helped me not get bummed out about the beat not being the super duper great beat that I wanted it to be. It helped me more so just see it as another opportunity that I learned something, and I just took it as an opportunity that, all right, okay, I learned to just make sure that I don't sample the obvious parts of beats. Learns to also some other things from other producers, like how in terms of how they produce their beats and stuff like that. I just took it more as a learning opportunity, like it's another step in the right direction, but not necessarily the end all be all. And I think a lot of people get hung up and kind of bummed out because they try to treat everything as an end all be all to everything. Like for instance, they'll think like, okay, this one job is going to lead to a billion jobs, and it could be, but it's not likely. You know what I'm saying? And so, but with that, you got to have a patient mindset. You got to be mindful just to be patient to go through the process because things aren't instant. Like, and if you get anything instantly, it will be gone instantly too as well. And so, yeah. So, how do you, Cass, incorporate those three things in your life, and how do you feel those three things help you become a better creator or a better person in general?
Gotcha. And again, that was
prayer, perseverance, and patience.
Perseverance.
Like, yeah, how do you try to practice patience? And how has that helped you persevere through certain things? And I know you're a strong prayer as well to help get you focused. You know, what I'm saying, to attack things.
For sure, yeah. Patience, man. That ties right into faith with me because a lot of times we have to stand in faith before things are finished or, the outcome happens. So a lot of times we have to, pray and then be patient for what is to come, you know what I'm saying, for the outcome. When we pray to God for an outcome, a certain situation, we're stressed out, certain things aren't going right, somebody might have an issue with their car, something else or whatever, and you asking God to help you for the relief of that from the stress, and you stand in faith. After you do that, a person should stand in faith, stand in that until the outcome happens, because it's that worry and all that is kind of like going against, you pray and you
That's
ask.
facts.
Like you said,
True.
Ask and you shall be given. So person, when you ask, you have to stand in faith. You can't ask and then go back to worrying and being scared and being like, well, I prayed, but I don't know if God is going to answer this prayer and all that. No, that's what faith is about. You pray, then you sit and you stand in faith, and the perseverance. Perseverance is the standing in faith and standing strong in that, standing firm in it, not facts. Wavering. I mean, of course, you're going to have thoughts and different things that come in, but you go right back to it. And that's where, the mind, the soil of the mind, where you go back to, in that type of situation, the reciprocal of the negative thing happening where it doesn't work out. No, you keep going over the good thing happening. You keep telling yourself, no, this good thing is happening. I prayed. I'm standing in faith. I have faith in God. That's many battles that I go through or that I have went through in the past and overcame. I can remember vividly where I would have to, a negative thought would come or whatever, and I would say, I have faith in God. I have faith in God, to silence that critic.
True. Ooh, that's facts. Oh, I like that.
He would go away, and I would get more aggressive. The more it would try to stay there, that critic or whatever, I would get more aggressive. I have faith in God. And if I need to yell it out, I will to make that thing dissipate. You know what I'm saying? That critic. And so I think that all encompasses those three you were talking about, though.
I like to add to that because I feel like what I was going through this week was just me showing that I didn't have faith in God. Like me focus on like, oh, I need to go get this. I need to go like work hard for this big payoff instead of enjoying life. Like I was putting that over like the important things. I was putting like this big payoff day that whenever I feel like I'm financially secure, I put that over the happiness or like my happiness, my own peace of mind. And me being able to enjoy a beautiful moment of families coming together to be there to support two individuals becoming a power team of sorts. I realized that, I wasn't really showing the strongest faith in God at that moment because I put the BS over the important things, like which is family, And so, Yeah, I think it was a good eye opener for me. Like, oh man, I need to take a step back, which is very important. A lot of times we just go too hard. We're too focused on things, and then when you're at that point, it's easy for you to lose your way. It's easy for you to get off track because you're so focused on this carrot, which is what it really is. Like the $1 billion dream is really just a carrot that I'm dangling in front of my head and that I'm running towards. It's not like, okay, of course I get the carrot, I eat it, it's good, all right, but then all right, what's the next carrot? That type of thing. And so yeah, man, it's like for sure, like you got to be stand strong in faith, because it really does help you in persevering. You have to be patient as well. Be patient that things will work out. I know it's hard to deal with when you're in the moment that like in the real bind at the moment, but you have to have patience. You have to have in order for me to really have my patience is like you stated. I have my strong faith in God that, all right, you know what, things are going to work out when they work out. It's not like it makes a difference if I get the $1 billion, next week. It doesn't make a difference because I'm still financially good. So that can wait. Everything else can wait. Let me focus on the important stuff. Let me focus on making sure that everybody's good and that we have a great time this upcoming wedding. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. And one other thing that I do, you know what I'm saying? In those type of situations is, when you're stressed out and you have a person has these issues and all that, I'll write down, do like a little brainstorm or whatever, write down the physical things like what's happening right now, physically right now. So that would be those issues, the problems, what's causing the stress, those things, write that out. And that's happening right now. That's in the physical realm right here, the physical realm. And then I'll write over here the spiritual realm, or those things that are in the spirit realm where God is. There is no time. The things are already done. It's already completed.
Yeah.
So I'll write down over here that whatever the issue is, it's done. It's taken care of. This issue it's all taken care of over here in the spiritual realm. So I look at both of those and I'll be like, I need to focus on the spiritual realm where it's already done. If I do that over here, then it will happen over here in the same way. So that
that's
I did that a couple
that's
2-3 days ago.
That's a fire. That's a bar. That's fire because that's fire because if your faith is strong, your faith is is knee deep there, like it's rock solid. You already know that it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time, and the time is only exists, like you said, within this realm, within this spectrum of the universe. I think that's a dope way to put it. Within the spectrum of the universe, while God has already have things taken care of. And all right, basically he's at the point, or the spirit or the energy. I really don't like to put the he thing on God because I think it's kind of bigger than that. But out of habit, I say he a lot. But anyway, to the point, it's already figured out. I think God is just sitting there waiting, like, all right, so how strong is your faith though? That's what I kind of feel like. I think that's my theory. I think that's my theory. That's my theory. I think things are worked out already, and now God is really testing to see, all right, how solid is your faith? Do you really believe in me? Because I think logically, or I like to say that I think logically, and I think God is very logical. Of course, He created the sun, stars, moon, everything, and all the in nature and how everything is equal within that. But I think He's logical. I think if I were God and I were trying to see if people were really about that life and saying that they really believe in me, I would really test them. Like, all right, how about the life are you?
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
because you can't just say oh, I'm about that life and then not show and prove. You have to show and prove. You have to go through some real tests, some tests that will strike fear in you. But if your faith is strong within God, you wouldn't really have fear because God has it taken care of. So, and so that's my theory. I think that's a good point that you just made, man. I like that.
Yeah, because even Jesus, Yeshua, however you want to call him, even he was tested. You know what I'm saying? He had to go through the wilderness, and he was tested by the enemy himself, or whatever, the critic, whatever you want to call it, himself. He said, look over, brought him up on top of a mountain and said, look over, you can have all of this whole world I can give to you and all this. And he said, get behind me because you don't own this. Don't tempt the Lord your God. And because he didn't have the power to give that to him. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, if he was tested, that's a prime example right there that we will be tested too. You know what I'm saying? It's a faith test.
Yeah.
We're going to go through many.
And the thing is, the important thing is to have patience and persevere through those tests, and just have like strong faith, and then just stand in it. Like, all right, you can do it. Whatever situation you're in, like a situation that may seem abysmal at this very moment, keep your faith strong. Believe that you can do it, and you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Plant those right seeds in that soil of your mind, and believe that you can do something, and then do it.
The richest soil.
For sure.
You dig?
For sure, man. Fire podcast. We have gave you guys minutes back from last week podcast. And so let's go ahead and wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, it's getting hot under these lights, man.
Right,
Got me
yeah.
sweating and stuff. We gave y'all some. We gave y'all a little bit.
For sure. This has been the Creative Masterminds Podcast. Fire podcast. You have Sean Breeze. You also have
Cass 3
again. So Cass, go ahead and give out your socials where they can find you.
Instagram, CAS_THREE, and the Boxing Bell also on there. And been kind of slacking on putting stuff up, but I've been real busy handling other things. So we'll get it updated soon.
Cool. And you can find me at Sean Breeze on Instagram, also on Spotify for my music. You can find me OG Sean Breeze on Twitter and Facebook, The Creative Masterminds on Facebook, SoundCloud, and YouTube. The Creative Masterminds Podcast. Search that. And what else? I think that's it. I think we're good to go. So thank you guys for tuning in into another episode of the Creative Masterminds Podcast. And peace out, man.
Y'all be blessed.
Peace.